What's up, everyone? We are live at 5. It is Monday, June 8th. I'm Paul Wontorek.
And I'm Beth Stevens.
And we're joined, as always, by Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Good to see
Yes,
you guys.
it's been a minute.
Yes, it's been a minute. I'm sure many of you noticed that we were not on air last week. We decided, like many people in the world, to sort of stay silent, process what's going on out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a week of a lot of feelings, a lot of outrage, a lot of grief, a lot of protesting out there against the racist police brutality that's been happening. So we decided that spotlight should be on what was going on in the world and not on what's going on here in our industry. But we're back now, and we have some new things to offer.
And we want to say we stand with the protesters. We want to make that very clear. This is something that is very important to us. And we want to use this platform to hopefully inspire some great conversations. There's been a lot of conversation out there on social media over the last 2 weeks, and a lot of it affects our community, our theater community. And so we want to hopefully inspire some great talk.
Definitely. And we actually are kicking off something new tomorrow by allowing other people to kind of take over this platform, which is really exciting.
Right. So Michael James Scott, who many of you know as the genie in Aladdin, the genie. we love the genie.
Yeah.
He had one wish. He usually gives wishes, but he had a wish. He actually reached out. He's a friend of the site. He's been on Live at 5 before. You've seen him here. And he had the idea of sort of moderating some conversations with some of his and our friends in the community. And so we're going to do that actually tomorrow, right here. And we have lined up some fantastic people. Let's see who's on the list, Beth. Why don't you tell me something?
Oh, I will tell you. Well, Asmaret, am I going to say her name wrong?
Gabber McCall. Asmaret.
I just call her Asmaret. Who has penned an essay about how she feels about some of these things, and she's been a great friend to us, and she's close friends with Michael James Scott as well. So she's going to be there, and Daniel Watts, and
from Tina,
Otto Blankson Wood,
Otto Blankson Wood, Slave Play.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
All of these people have been on our site before. All of these people have been on Live at 5 before, but they're going to come together and have a conversation without us, actually.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
It'll be great.
I hope you'll all join us. This may be the first of many such events, and it'll be happening right here tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Okay, guys, let's talk about some news.
Today, BCFA announced some huge donations, which is going to great causes.
That's right. So Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS is contributing $125,000 to the Broadway Advocacy Coalition, which is also kicking off a forum to talk about some of the things that are going on right now after all of the protests sparked by the killing of George Floyd. So Broadway Cares has always been here for the community, and they get involved with other organizations. They often do this, that speak to the moment, and that's what they're doing now. And they're aligning with other social justice and anti-racist organizations and offering all their support, financial and otherwise. So that's really good to hear. They're also sending $25,000 each to the Bail Project, Color of Change, and the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. They are here for this industry in many ways.
Hey, Beth, we forgot to tell everyone who's here today. Nicole Vanessa Ortiz is here.
Yeah.
How can we forget our gorgeous guest
fabulous,
is here today, who is doing a special event tonight. So we're just, if you're here for her, and I'm sure you are, just wait a few minutes. We'll get to her, and she's worth the wait. What else?
Yeah, a lot of people have come together to say that they want this theater to become an official Broadway theater.
Well, this was pretty interesting. So over the weekend, I guess it's probably started last week, there's been a lot of talk about which theaters are considered Broadway, who owns these theaters, who's deciding what's in these theaters. And a lot of people, there's a change.org petition that started about making the Apollo Theater up in Harlem, an official Broadway house. And there already are over 12,000 signatures on this. This is pretty interesting. This is a Black-owned theater, obviously a historic theater. It's a legendary theater.
And gorgeous.
And it is it's big enough to be a Broadway theater.
So the are that it has to be over 500 seats. And most people think of Broadway houses within that, 15 blocks in Times Square, but you have to remember that Lincoln Center's Vivian Beaumont Theater is not within that area and is still considered a Broadway house. So it's not out of the question at all.
And this has actually, I think, come up kind of in the past. Remember when George C. Wolfe made that Harlem song, that musical that played up there? It was sort of created for the Apollo, and there was that fantastic Dreamgirls production that sort of was a big quasi Broadway event. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see. Why? I mean, come on, Beth. I would love another Broadway house, wouldn't you?
I would love it.
Everybody's always looking for Broadway houses, so there's one.
That's right.
Definitely. And we found out officially when we're going to be able to see the Drama Desk Awards.
That's right. The Drama Desk Awards, like many celebrations surrounding our industry, postponed their ceremony because of what was going on in the world, as did we. We don't have our show of shows was also postponed. We're going to have news about that soon. But the Drama Desk has now set a new date, and that's June 13th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And this will be shown on the Drama Desk website and also New York One, hosted by Frank DeLella, our pal over there with the onstage program there on New York One. So you can check that out. And some of it was pre-recorded, so that's already done. And it was supposed to take place at Town Hall, but that was in a world where we would all gather together in a theater. And that's not happening right now. But now we have a date, so that's good to know.
For the first time in 100 years, this season is not happening.
Well, that was dramatic. Yeah, so so the Muni is a wildly popular, enormous, legendary outdoor theater that I've never been to. So I'm not feeling the burn. I've always wanted to go.
You have to get to St. Louis.
It's in St. Louis, so it's more than my car. It's more than a car ride. But yeah, it's very beloved and it employs all sorts of amazing actors and theater artists. And so they announced that they're postponing their season, which was supposed to include Chicago. Oh, I don't want to make you sad what you're missing, but this was on your feet. That's what that was. That was a visual clue. But they are doing something called Muni Magic at the Sheldon Performances. A digital series and a new series featuring Muni friends and family from around the world. So the actual Muni Magic won't be happening this summer, but there can't be that many summer cancellations left, right, Beth?
I hope not, right? But I feel like most have already told us what's up, but you never know.
Yeah.
And this stage and screen legend earned yet another Lifetime Career Award today.
That, of course, is the one and only Cicely Tyson.
You can't mistake Tony that winner. Diva. Yeah.
No.
Look at this. Look at that photo.
She is one gorgeous woman. She has over 13 Emmy nominations, an honorary Oscar award, and over 9 Broadway credits, including her Tony Award for The Trip to Bountiful a few years ago. And she got another accolade, which is she probably has quite a big mantle, don't you think, Paul? Like a lot. Yeah. For all the awards. Anyway, it's the Peabody Awards Career Achievement. And this is really just to honor Cicely Tyson for all of the ways that she's spoken out and broken barriers. And look, if you're going to give an award to Cicely Tyson, you're just joining a really big group of people. Sure. She's so talented. So talented.
I feel like she should win an award every year. Why not? Yes. Why not? Thank you so much, Beth. Hey, Caitlin, why don't you tell everyone about today's guest?
Gladly. Guys, today we have Nicole Vanessa Ortiz here with us today to kick off a new week of Live at 5 Home Edition live right here, both on Facebook and YouTube. As we said earlier, she is gearing up for her virtual benefit concert called 6 Feet Apart, which is happening tonight at 7 p.m. We are pre-gaming with her. It's going to be great. And this event is sponsored by City Hill Community Development, and it's going to raise money for bulk orders of protective health equipment for the fight against COVID-19. So she's doing some incredible work over there. Really excited to have her talk all about it. As you guys may know, Nicole was set to be starring in Sister Act at Paper Mill Playhouse that has been since postponed. but you can get a peek of what she would have sounded like by listening to her sing Fabulous Baby on clubbroadway.com on the site after this, okay? And you guys can follow her on social at Nicole V. Ortiz. Leave all of your questions in the comments below, and please welcome Nicole and Paul.
Hello. How you
My
doing?
wedding isn't as pleasant as yours, but I wanted to make sure that I came through today because this was a last minute thing, and I'm so glad you guys reached out.
You look gorgeous.
Thanks.
You know, I have to tell you, I listened to that Fabulous Baby on loop, and you know, that was our last clubbroadway.com we did before the shutdown.
Right. How lucky were we that we got to get that right
I
before
know.
everything went down? Oh my God.
I was so. Oh, look, there you are. That's you in our studio. That's the last time I saw you. That was the last time I saw you. Oh, look, there's a photo. Look, oh, there's a photo of us.
Yes!
Caitlin stuck that in there.
Anymore. Oh, what a great memory photo.
Oh, yeah, that was the first. That was tough. You were like just about to go into this run at Paper Mill, right? I mean, you were like right there, ready to go.
Yeah, we were ready to go. And what's interesting is that even though we only got one entire week of rehearsals, we finished all of Act 1 before we all put a hiatus on the whole thing. So if we would have came back within the amount of time that we had thought would be the duration of the COVID-19 shutdown, all we would have needed was a week and a half left, and we all would have been ready. I mean, all of the women, all of the men, the entire company, vocals were down packed for Act 1, combo, dance routines were down packed. It was so much fun. And like, it kills me every day that I can't share snippets of the rehearsals because I just know that they're going to come in handy later down the line if I just hold them dear. Because we had some like really great rehearsals. Scene rehearsals and like full-blown performance rehearsals, particularly with the nuns, with songs like Raise Your Voice and Take Me to Heaven.
And it will happen again, correct? There will be a reschedule of this.
That's the hope, right? Because
Okay,
now everything was just so unpredictable. They didn't want to keep leaving people hanging, you know?
I know.
Yeah.
So how have these last few weeks been for you? I mean, I followed you on social media. I've seen some of your posts. What are you experiencing? What's it been like, sort of seeing the world over the last couple of weeks?
Well, I mean, let's start from the beginning, right? It was already hard having to stop life when the quarantine period began.
Yeah.
And for me, that was back on March 14th, because March 9th to the 6th day of that week that we had our full week rehearsal. I think that was like about March 13th, March 14th. So the first 2 weeks of quarantine were a little weird because I'm a working girl and I like feeling like I have something to do the following day. And that was just not fun getting used to. And just when I was starting to find a rhythm that was helping me cope with quarantine, I went into doing the taping for 6 Feet Apart, a COVID-19 relief concert that's going to be they're broadcasting tonight.
Yep.
But what sucked is that we did that taping on a Tuesday night, May 26th, which was literally the day after all of us in the entire world found out about George Floyd and how he passed. And I had mentioned it, you know, in a video message announcement last night that I just choose to not go into those details because it's too emotionally triggering for me. So, you know, between trying to cope with quarantine and social isolation, especially because someone like myself who thrives off of, you know, people, I love people and I love being able to bond with people that I love and even just strangers that I meet, you know, on the whim. And then also struggling with the economic, you know, struggle of not getting unemployment, unfortunately, because of all these different, you know, glitches that were happening with New York unemployment. Wow. I hadn't received unemployment until last week, and I had applied for it back when we all shut down. So that was hard. And then boom, then to not only, I was still trying to get off of Ahmaud Arbery. I was still trying to get over that. And then after that, we hear about George Floyd, and then Breonna Taylor comes back up into discussion, which is just ridiculous to me how long it took for that story to come out, considering when it actually first took place.
Yeah.
And so it's just been really stressful, Paul. Like, it's been very damaging to my mental health. And, you know, you can only do so much as one human being. You know, I have my faith, of course. I have, you know, my hope and my love and the people who support me. And my spirituality and trusting that God is in control. But you know what? Like when the world is on fire like this, figuratively and literally speaking, it's hard to see him through the smoke. Let's just be honest. It's very hard. And, you know, that's why I was kind of nervous about coming on today, because I know this is an important topic to discuss, especially for people of color. And, you know, I'm doing what I can. What I can say is that aside from how negatively jarring it is on my mental health, and not just mine, but, you know, I can agree that this is also being, has been jarring on, you know, people's mental health in the white community as well. And I've had a lot of beautiful conversations come out of this subject matter since everything started hitting the fan in the way that it did. Because, you know, America right now is just at the tipping point, you know, and so everyone is just feeling pinned against the wall. And it's like, what do you do when you get pinned against the wall and somebody's choking you? We're saying figuratively, even though that does happen literally. You scream, you yell for help, you get obnoxious, and you do whatever you can do to be heard and be saved, you know? And right now, the Black community is trying to do that for each other first. We're trying to make sure that we have it together and that we understand how we're going to keep ourselves tightly knit. But when it comes to reaching out to our allies, we're just trying to help them understand that, you know, we're not saying Black Lives Matter only. We're just saying that we're just being exploited and violated at a disproportionate level that is just too hard not to notice at this point in time. So, you know, I've always been one to be away from politics, you know, as you can probably tell from the way that my social media behavior has always been. I've never been too opinionated to where I felt the majority would feel it's too sensitive, it can be too offensive, or it can have too many layers to where people will not understand how clear you stand and what you're speaking about. But when it comes to human beings, I don't think that should be politicized. And that's why this has been it's just been such a difficult time for me, because I feel like we need to stop succumbing to the manipulation that human beings' lives are politics. It's not. We shouldn't politicize humanity. We should all be able to unite on that one collective thought that we have to fight for each other, those of us who look like one another, and then for those of us who look different from one another, sit down, take a moment, open your mind, open your heart, and listen to what it's like to walk in our shoes every day. So that's all I have for right now, because like I said, I'm still very emotional on the topic. And sometimes, you know, when you're too emotional, you want to still take some time to process. And I haven't processed in a way that is suitable for my standards. So that's why I'm going to leave it there and say that's all I have to say, because I don't want to speak out of pocket and anybody misinterpret my ideas and opinions about the matter itself. But there is no opinion when it comes to human beings' lives. And right now, that's what we have to fight for. We have to fight for, you know, putting an end to malpractices that are happening in law enforcement. And it's not this whole, like, you know, screw the cops or anything like that, because I have friends who are cops. You know, my girlfriend who lives in Jersey with me, you know, she's a cop, but she's the good cop, you know? But it's just unfortunate that we have bad cops going viral and they're messing it up for the cops that are really in this field for the community, trying to protect us and trying to save our lives and keep us away from harm and trouble. So, you know, it's a complicated time, Paul. And right now, all I've been doing is just praying a lot for everybody's, you know, spirits, because it's hard to be in good spirits. And that's why I took so long putting up this concert, because I didn't want it to be tone deaf to what was happening. I think it was very appropriate that we had a week where we just put things on pause. So, and, you know, we had that hashtag trending, you know, the show must be paused. I thought that was perfect. And, you know, having the show broadcast tonight, you know, I had expressed that if it does anything, I just wanted it to give everybody a mental break from the emotional stress that's been inflicted on us as a people and as a nation, you know, because every now and then, you know, like we always joke about, sometimes it helps to laugh through the pain and things like that, just to kind of get some balance and perspective back on the things that we do have, like each other. You and me having this conversation, that's a blessing. That's a blessing that we can do that, because you are one of the good guys. You know what I mean? You are the person who's putting yourself in the position to open up this dialogue so that you can let people know in that demonstration that you stand with us. And I tell you, I may not be speaking for everybody, but I speak for myself. I appreciate you for that. And I thank you for that.
Well, thank you for saying that. We had a lot of discussion last week, especially amongst everyone at Broadway.com, just sort of like how do we move forward, and having the conversations is what it's all about, right? And you're right, putting yourself on camera. You just said a lot of beautiful things in what you just said, and I know that you said that you didn't know how comfortable you were saying them on camera, but you're just speaking from your heart. And people's social media feeds might make them seem like they sort of have a lot of these emotions figured out, but everyone needs to have these moments. So I appreciate you coming in. I know none of us have it figured out, but listening and observing and thinking and trying to move forward is what we're all doing. But let's talk about this show you have for the people. Here you are. It's called we all know what 6 feet away means.
No happy-go-lucky smile.
So tell me a little bit how this came, and I know you were planning this obviously weeks ago, but this is for is it City Hill Community Development? Is that what it is? Can you tell me talk about this and where the idea came from?
So City Hill Community Development is a nonprofit organization. My husband is the co-founder of it. He basically, operates the entire organization, and the staff that, also helps him, put out the initiatives that they've been working on in the city of Newark. Now, my husband's had City Hill Community Development for years. This is our first time we ever partnered on anything, though, because with me being out of work and not really having like a sense of purpose or feeling like I had a sense of like fulfillment and putting my talents to good use. And then with his offices being forced to close down because his weekly activities would be to be at the St. John's Church, which is located on Mulberry Street in North New Jersey, right near the Penn Station. And they would feed the homeless every Sunday. But because of the social distancing guidelines that went into effect, all of those activities that were operating under City Hill Community Development had to come to a stop, especially when we were fresh at the height of COVID-19. So him and I had discussed, like maybe we should, order like some masks when I start getting unemployment, right? And that was the first idea that I had. I was like, I was in a blessed position for him to still be working because aside from his nonprofit, he's also an essential worker, and he has his own independent truck company where he delivers Amazon accounts. And he just basically has routes that deliver Amazon shipments to other businesses. And it's an overnight shift that he works. So it pays good money, and luckily and gratefully, it helps us pay our immediate bills. But I was looking forward to having my unemployment so that way I can take portions of my unemployment and start handing out masks in our neighborhood. Well, that idea went down the drain because I didn't get unemployment until last week. So then when we decided, okay, that's not going to happen because of what's going on with, the government and our online accounts, we said, why don't we do a virtual concert? I was like, ooh, do you think I could do that? Like, cause I don't have all these fancy cameras like everyone else. I'm still trying to save money for a decent updated GoPro. So like, is this gonna work? Are people gonna still feel like they're intimately engaging with me? Because that's always been my angle, is to make people feel like they're organically connecting with me in the live shows that I have put on in the past. So I was like, so how can we make it feel just as interactive? He was like, you'll figure it out. Oh, gee, thanks. So I called up a few friends of mine who, took a leap of faith and joined the team. And we put together the concept of using all of our, Apple devices. I have some old iPhones and stuff like that. We're getting really DIY.
Of course, you have to. You have to.
I got a couple of my old iPhones that still had really good camera quality, and I reached out to my MD that I use for a lot of my live shows in the city when we do perform, Eugene Glow, who does a lot of pianist work for different shows, and him and I met during my first off-Broadway debut, Hamilton. So that's how him and I, fostered our relationship.
Wasn't he there for Fabulous Baby?
And that was him, the one wearing the Deacon tag.
Yeah, he was. We don't have the photo of him. Yeah, he had like the white. Anyway,
he always knows how to come prepared. That's why I love Eugene. So Eugene came on board. And, and we decided to make the concept very unplugged and acoustic because of the fact that I normally have a 5-piece band of my own that always travels with me for live shows. But because of quarantine, we were like, let's make this a little simple. Let's make it a piano and I thing. You'll be 6 feet apart. We'll measure it out before the taping happens. Literally, like I sat across the rug at the studio that we recorded at, and I knew I was 5'7". So then I just imagined like the remaining difference of that measurement. I was like, okay, you're far enough, Eugene. I'm gonna sit right here. And we got it all on tape. That was the concept of 6 feet apart. To one, show people that we can social distance and still bring good entertainment to those of us at home who were just feeling kind of lost throughout our days. And to also help us, me and Eugene, cope with quarantine and not being able to perform like we normally are used to. And have that concept just raise money through e-ticket sales so that we can order bulk orders of masks and sanitizers and bottles of water to give out to the homeless. And you know what, like at this point in time where we're at, that's still going to be the initiative, but I also want to consider extending that initiative to handing out the masks at peaceful protests and rallies, because I don't know if you've been thinking this, Paul, but as far as I'm concerned, I want to go to a protest. I want to go to a rally, but I'm just trying to keep up with what the news is telling me. I thought we were in quarantine. I thought we were supposed to be 6 feet apart. So like, where's the lie? And if there's not a lie, what's the instruction? You know, what's going to fly? So I've been kind of like just trying to be consistent with my quarantine and my social distancing. And so when I think about all those peaceful protesters and those people putting on rallies and, you know, in a peaceful way because they have a right to exercise that, I want to make sure they're protected, you know? So maybe that'll be my way of going out into the protest, whether it's here in New Jersey, you know, back in my hometown of North New Jersey, or whether it's me going out to stand in solidarity with my friends in New York as well. But we just want to be able to kill more than 2 birds with 1 stone when it comes to what we're trying to do with this money that we're putting back into the community, regardless of what community that is. And when I say what community, I'm talking about like states and neighborhoods, not necessarily, you know, our people, because right now our people are hurting, and I want to make sure that they also know we stand with them and we got their back too. So it's been a lot. And although it was a COVID-19 relief concept, we want to make sure that it still has its multiple ways of serving everyone, you know? So that's where we are right now with.
By the way, I'm gonna switch from journalist to fan for a minute and just say that you're an amazing singer and everyone should be dying to go to one of your concerts. So everyone needs to go. I mean, who wouldn't want to hear you sing? I want to see you sing at my face. I want to see that.
Nobody's famous. And I have to tell you, Paul, like that's another thing too that made me nervous about doing a virtual concert, because, you know, I look up to all these other Broadway, you know, stars that are in the community. And, you know, for what it's worth, it's something I'm working towards. It's something I'm aspiring to. But like people back at home in New Jersey, they get it misunderstood. They're like, oh, Nicole, you know, from Arts Fire, from York, she's been on Broadway. And I'm like, not yet. I haven't been on Broadway in the sense of the word. Maybe I've gotten the same equal amount of press, but I haven't quite gotten there yet. So with that,
you've made yourself known. You've made yourself known. What's that song? Make them hear you. Make them hear you. You did. You made us hear you.
I've gotten really good at being under the radar and showing up when it's important and then just going back under the radar. So that's why I was nervous about doing a virtual concert, because I'm just like, nobody knows me. I got like a measly 4,900 followers. Probably 10% only really care about me out of those 4,900, because, you know, I study social media and all that other good stuff. So that's why I was like, are we really going to raise enough money to actually help? But my husband was like, don't worry about that. It's a start. It's a stepping stone to see how it turns out, you know? And this is your first philanthropic move when it comes to trying to, you know, put together a show that puts back into the community. So let's just, you know, you don't know till you try. I was like, okay, you're right. You don't know till you try. We'll see what happens.
I'm going to buy a ticket. So wait, what do? I go to that. This is a link here, but you can also, if you follow you on social, this link, if you go there, I'll take you. But it's $10, right? Is that what it is? $10?
Yeah.
And then
50% of the proceeds are going to COVID-19 relief. But to be honest, I'm still debating whether I want to keep it at 50 or just increase it to a full 100, because that's where my heart is right now. I don't need the money in the sense of like I'm dying. You know what I mean? That's just my frame of mind. I'm not saying anybody else who operates differently when it comes to allocation of proceeds should feel, you know, worse about how they go about it. It's just where my heart is right now. I don't need the money. You know what I'm saying? There's people
Yeah,
who
I
actually
know.
need it, you know? So
Yeah,
I just want to
yeah.
try to help wherever I can.
Everything is in a different perspective now, all right? Everything changed. Everything changed.
Everything.
Everything's changing.
Yeah.
Look at me. I am changing. Okay. So it was so good to see you. I'm going to check out this 6 Feet Apart concert. I hope that someday soon I can be less than 6 feet away from you. And
trust me, the day that I get the green light, I'm coming right up to you.
Look at this. Our faces were like 6 inches apart.
Yes.
That's
what we need to get back to. 6 inches
that was the
apart.
old days. Remember that? When you used to touch people? Remember that?
Right.
And thank you so much for opening your heart and speaking so honestly about the world. I'm going to bring Caitlin and Beth back in so everyone could say goodbye.
Bye, ladies.
And yeah, it was so great to see you. And please keep in touch. And thank you for the good work you're doing. Hey, Caitlin.
Bye.
Why don't you stick around while we do this little outro, Nicole? Caitlin, why don't you take us out?
Gladly. Yes, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in for another fun episode of Live at 5 Home Edition. You can follow along wherever you get your podcast by searching for #Live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in tomorrow when we have our guest host, Aladdin's Michael James Scott, talk with Asma Geber-McCall, Ado Blankson Wood, and Daniel Watts. It's going to be a really incredible conversation. I hope you tune in, but be sure to stick around right now because to take you guys out of today's episode, we have Alex Newell's incredible rendition of I Know Where I've Been from Hairspray with Mark Shaman and the vocals of the music group Sounds of Zamar.